if I didn't have athletics, I would stay at home and I'd play video games all day, and that would be my life. I was literally on the verge of tears. I was getting too emotionally stressed, and then I heard shouting from the field, and they're like, "You got third, you got third," and I was just so happy, and the whole team everyone was like hugging. At the time, I've never been through more stress, and I've done GCSEs, I've done A levels. I've been through it all. It is the case. Sometimes you forget to celebrate things, like you forget how big achievements are, and then you're like, wait, no, this is like lots of people would be really happy with this, and I'm really happy with this, but I don't know, I'm mixed emotion right now. At the start, running was just kind of like, it was the thing I did for like stay healthy, and I like to try and win things, but now it's like I actually look forward all day to going to training, to seeing the people.
So, Ollie, you once said to us, this was a few months ago, I think, that people would describe you as funny, chatty, and probably the worst dressed. And again, they're your words, not mine. So, with that in mind, how, in your opinion, would you say personality affects performance, whether that's competing or training? Like, have you noticed that anything is different as a result of your personality?
Well, for starters, I'd probably say I'm surprised I didn't say humbleness was part of my personality, giving myself traits like that. But I definitely think personality is so key because, for example, my training group, I joined it in like last season, it would have been midway through last season. And that's completely changed athletics for me because at the start, running was just kind of like, it was the thing I did for like stay healthy, and I like to try and win things. But now it's like I actually look forward all day to going to training, to seeing the people. And it's like even winning my race is as fun as it is. It's so much more nice to see like the younger people win their race and see them get so excited, and like to be able to congratulate them and cheer people on at competitions, like be friends with them, and it's great. And especially even competitors, not even just in the training group. So for competitions like 400 hurdles, I always say it, 400 hurdles feels like the friendliest event because in the call-up room, everyone, because you're focusing on your own personal race and your own personal development because everyone's so different. It's just like in the call up, we're all talking, we're all laughing. We'll be talking about something that's not even related to the race, just trying to like ease the tension. And I don't know, it's really nice to have like a center community, especially in running of all the sports, like because everyone knows half the time you're the results on paper are going to be so different that people are just fighting to get what they can do their personal best. So I'd probably say it is definitely really important to me to be friendly in athletics. As fun as it is to win, it's no fun if you're not like having a good time with even just people you're racing against, let alone your friends that you're training with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with athletics, it seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of people where the camaraderie is such a massive factor to help people compete and to help people, get those PBs or those gold medals that they're after. So
Yeah,
um,
there's nothing worse than people celebrating on each other. I feel as funny as it is, it does look a bit bad when people like run through the line and like turn around and jeer or like hold things up like L's up on people. It's a lot nicer when you see someone get excited about the time and then still shake everyone's hands and hug after the race.
with the camaraderie then, because I know you are with Rugby Northampton AC, aren't you?
Indeed, Rugby
So
Northampton.
that's the one. How much of an effect do your peers at Rugby and Northampton AC have for your training and competitions? Because I know you know people like Robbie Dale quite well. He used to be an ambassador for us. You have
Hmm.
some quite good people that you train with. So yeah, how do they positively impact on your athletics? Would you say?
Oh, it's just massive. Like Rugby Northampton is probably the best decision I made athletics wise, like joining the club. I just love the entire group. My coach, so I mean, the main thing that with the club is it just they keep me down to earth so much. Like in athletics, it's so easy for you to like get lost because you're competing alone to get lost in like your own ego. But it just even like my club mates making fun of me or making jokes or like being lighthearted and stuff. It's really nice to just and it doesn't even matter the like we've got under 15s, under 17s, and 20s. We've some parents of the athletes training in the group, and it's just nice to have that real sense of community. And obviously, I do train with Robbie, train with Luke Turner, Fabian Powell, things like that. So even not just doing my event, but doing other events, you still make sure you ask them how they're doing, you watch how they're doing. I mean, especially Luke and Robbie, they both do 400 hurdles with me now. And it feels like when we're training with each other, we're training, but then we're talking between the reps and we're talking outside the comps and we're giving each other tips and tricks from our strong points. For example, Robbie's really good on the flat, but he's learning to be better on the hurdles. Whereas growing up, I did loads of sprint hurdles, so I'm better on the hurdles than the flat. And it's just like that kind of thing where I can help him, talk to him about stride patterns, and he can probably talk to me about how he does the late kick where he holds on to the last 100 and then drives through. So it is definitely really important to talk to people, especially if they're better at certain aspects than you.
Yeah, 100%. And it definitely seems like a really good community to be a part of because, I mean, they ultimately have led you to some really good things. I mean, if you're talking
Yeah.
about Trinidad and Tobago last year, for example, I mean, that in itself was such a massive accomplishment.
Mm. They've
Yeah.
led me to, like, I mean, almost all of my major victories. So they led me to the Commonwealth Games medal, my English champs, my English schools win this year, my English champs medal this year. Like I've won the most national medals I can think of whilst being at the club, and that's not just luck. Like I haven't just developed like that, and it's just taken till I joined. Like there's no coincidence in that. There's definitely a sense of I'm having more fun with what I'm doing, and I'm also being trained more effectively.
Absolutely, yeah. And English schools was another thing entirely in itself. And yeah, I'll talk to you about that in a second because we can't not talk about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, take me back to the Youth Commonwealth Games then. Could you tell me about, I mean, because like I say, that must have been such a massive experience for you in so many ways. So what were some of your highlights from that experience, would you say, whether it was on the track, off the track? Did you learn anything from it, would you say?
Yeah, I definitely learned so much. I mean, in Foresight, I was just like before the competition, I was like, oh, I just really want to get there. As long as I can qualify, I try my hardest all the season, just qualify. And then I qualified and I got there. I was like, sick, I'm there. It's like I just need to get through the heat, maybe get through the final. I mean, I might walk it. I might just like walk in. Like I don't need to win. I don't mind. I don't care about. There's no chance I'm going to get a medal. And then I came into the final with a fast time, and I was like, okay, now I'm in the final. Now I've got to try and get a medal, and now I've got to win it. And it's that kind of attitude. Like at first, I was like, oh, I'd just be happy just to get there, but then I wanted to win it. And I think the highlight for me is that there's so many people I became friends with on the trip in all the different events, all kids same age as me, the top of their game. And since then, I've just kept in contact, and I see them at comps, and we talk, and we still message and things like that. And we did like a meetup after the competition, so we've become like real life friends from running. One of the highlights I'd say is, although it was really stressful for me at the time. I finished the race, and if you've seen the race, I dip on the line, and the guy comes through at the exact same time, and they put the result as I think they black flagged it or whatever it's called, where they put it on protest,
Mhm.
and it's because the guy who came joint third when we had false started, and so they were debating the legitimacy of that as they were looking at the photo finish. And I couldn't celebrate. I couldn't take a flag or anything to celebrate the medal because I'd been told like, oh, we're still looking at it. We don't know the result yet. And it got to the point where they were still running events. So they took me off the track, and then they told me I had to like leave the stadium area because they were running more races. And so I was sat in our like English area, and we're still waiting the result, and they hadn't told me. And it's like if you've come third, got a bronze medal, you get to go to the award ceremony and everything, or you come fourth, and it's like you might as well have come fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth. It is that's how it feels. Although fourth is obviously still very impressive for any result. It's just like it's the difference between getting silverware and getting nothing. And I sat in the field, and I was so stressed. My physio, like that with the group team physio, took my phone off me because people were texting me like, fourth is still really good, you know. It doesn't matter. I was like, I came fourth. What? I thought I came third, and they were like, oh, it was really close, but well done anyway. Um, and then I ended up. I was literally on the verge of tears. I was getting too emotionally stressed. And my friend Mia, who also went for the 400 hurdles, took me on like a cool down lap to try and take my mind off it, but it was too much. And then I heard shouting from the field, and it was Shani Palmer and the rest of the team, and they were running over. They're like, "Ollie, you got it, you got it!" And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't check. And they're like, You got third, you got third." And I was just so happy, and the whole team everyone was like hugging and everything. It was really nice thinking back on it, but at the time, I've never been through more stress. And I've done GCSEs, I've done A levels, I've been through it all now, and that was still the worst thing I've ever to go through. But then in the end, the best thing. And then all I wanted to do was post about it for the rest of the time.
Oh God, if you think GCSEs and A levels are the peak of stress, then you've got you've got a lot to learn. That's
Oh,
all I'm
don't
going to
get me
say on the
started
matter.
on trying to apply for a house or anything like that. Oh
No,
no.
no, yeah, you've got so much to learn, but that time will come for you. But yeah, I must be honest, I didn't realize it was that stressful for you, and I didn't realize it was that close to getting third or
It
fifth.
was
But your
point
emotions,
zero
yeah.
zero four or something. So it's 4,000th of a second. Something crazy. I can't remember, but it was nuts.
Yeah, I can only imagine it. Your emotions, well, as you say, like your emotions must have been so high, like up and down, up and down. It must have been.
My vest was tattered. I when I fell over the line, I rolled and burnt it all on the red track.
Oh no.
And so they had to wash it because it was covered in like red track stains from where I had fallen.
Wow. So quite the experience then. And like I said earlier, and as you said earlier as well, English schools this year. I mean, can you just tell me like what your emotions were in the lead up to that event as well as the aftermath of that event? Because that was such a massive thing for you to get gold. Because I know that was something that you'd been wanting for quite a few years
Yeah,
at this school. So for you
so
to
long.
finally achieve that, what was that like?
So it was my first a national gold, which has been a long time coming. The last time I got like close to it was English Schools 2022 in Manchester. I did sprint hurdles and I got the bronze medal there. And I got the bronze medal. I was so gassed with it. But going into this competition, I was like, I knew that some of my competitors had moved event or they were at different competitions. So I went in as number one seed. So on paper should have won. And that was way worse than going in not supposed to win and trying to win. Going in where allegedly you're supposed to win, especially when I know some of the younger boys that I'm racing against are so strong at their running. It was definitely a very stressful time, but as you can see, I was able to put a comfortable heat in and get into the final. And then I was just thinking, like, as much as I'd love a great time, I just need to win. Like, I need to do whatever I can to try and pace this or try and like structure this. So I kept have a late kick, and I managed to just get enough of a lead, push really hard at the start. And then, although Shane West was coming back on me, I just made sure to try and like hold on, because his legs are very long, and he was coming very quick towards me. And so I'm glad it's only 400 meters hurdles and not 440 meters because I don't think I had that much left in me. I really gave it everything in that last race. And as I came through the line, my hands went to my head, and as much as I want to lie and say I was really like excited and celebrating, I just really wanted to go sub 52 so bad. I put my hands to my head and I was like, oh, I forgot to celebrate because I don't know, I just wanted the time and I didn't get it. But my teammate Luke, who obviously is also at Rugby Northampton, he came straight up to me and he like grabbed me and he was trying to hug me and celebrate with me. He was trying to gas me up, which I really appreciate because it's like it is the case. Sometimes you forget to celebrate things, like you forget how big achievements are, and you just fall straight into like an instant reaction, like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted. And then you're like, wait, no, this is like lots of people would be really happy with this, and I'm really happy with this, but I don't know, I'm mixed emotion right now. But it is funny considering obviously we were competing for counties at that. I was in Leicestershire, Luke was in Northampton, and yeah, he's still coming over to celebrate with the Leicestershire athlete.
Yeah, I think the thing is though, when you're that in the zone, like it's so easy to actually not realize what it is you've just done. Because
Yeah,
yeah, it was such a massive thing for you, but obviously you must have put so much prep in for that one moment essentially. So then yeah, it
yeah,
must have taken a bit of time for it to sink in for you, really.
yeah. If you think about it so much leading up, you're like, okay, this is what I need to. I just need to make sure I do it. I don't mess this up. Don't mess it. And then you do it, and then you're like, okay, I didn't think of what to do afterwards. I was like, the hard part was getting here. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Like, it's all fallen into place really well.
So now it's all over, and now you're like reflecting on it. Would you have done? I know you won, but is there anything you would have done differently? Do you think whether that was the prep for it or the lead up to it? Is there anything at all that you would have changed?
Well, that's a tough one. Whether there's anything I would have changed. I'm not too sure. Um, I I just it's easy when you're looking back, especially at 400 hurdles, to be like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Mm.
But I do believe that that race was one of my cleanest races. Like I've had races, England champs, for example, in the final. I came third, probably should have come quicker on paper, but it was because I was just fighting so hard for the medal. I was slamming hurdles. Whereas English schools, I felt like there was a little bit of pressure relieved by the fact of I wasn't having to fight, and I knew I could get first or second pretty comfortably. So I could just focus on trying to take the race in its stride, each stride being like, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've rehearsed. Like everything I did in that race was kind of exactly what I'd tried to do on paper in training, and I just replicated it on the day. But I've had many races where you're not able to replicate everything that you've practiced, you're not able to preach it. But I do think that that was probably one of my best races. I'd probably say the start. My start is the one weak spot in the sense of I have a good start usually, but it's the case of all you think when you're supposed to have a good result is don't false start, don't false start.
Mm.
In the blocks, people try and clear their head and think about nothing. All I'm thinking in the blocks is just wait till you hear it. Don't even preempt it. Hear it, wait 5 seconds, and if you think you're late, wait still some more and then go. So I always feel like my start's a bit dodgy when I'm expecting something out of the race. But when I'm not worried. I'm not supposed to do well. I'm not supposed to win. Then I know I can be a bit more risky and try and slam out as quick as possible. But the pressure does definitely affect how you race. Affects how hard you push. Sometimes if the pressure's on heavy, you push too much at the start, and then you go, wait, oh, the adrenaline went straight to my head. I'm not ready for this.
And very finally, before I let you go, because it looks like a lovely day where you are, and I don't want you to waste the sunshine or anything. Um, so I know you've just finished your A levels, and I know that's also something which was really important to you for whatever is you will be doing moving forward. So how would you, because obviously athletics is something that's really important to you as well. So how do you manage to balance both academics and athletics all in one to basically get the best out of both worlds, would you say? How do you go about that?
I think the main thing for it is energy. You can't be daytime for me is the time to study. If I've got studying to do, I've got a test, I'm going to revise in the day, and then training hours. I don't believe in being able to bend like, oh, I'm not going to go to training tonight because I've got a test coming up. It's like if you would properly revise for the test, you'd be ready and you could leave training in place. There's nothing you can do in the 2 hours we should have training that you couldn't do earlier. So I definitely think it's definitely healthy to make sure you get your work done and then training. Because as much as I love sport and as important sport is to me, if you haven't got the academics or the core stuff that's going to support you for sport, for example, my education needs to go to uni. So at uni, I can then set some time across for doing sport. There'd be no point to just focus on sport and then be like, oh, my academics will come through in the end. It's definitely you have to keep them up with each other. For me, it's been a 50-50 split for both. There's no doubt about it. I love my academics. It came before I start athletics. Everyone starts school before they start sport for the most part, unless you're raised as a very sporty child. But yeah, especially I don't believe in bending athletics for things. I think if you've got it properly organized, properly set out, set a program up, set a revision timetable, you should be able to do your smarts and then your sports in uh, alongside each other.
Obviously, athletics is such a massive part of your life. If you could sum it up in 3 words, what 3 words would you use to describe the role that athletics plays in your life?
Okay. 3 words. Um,
No pressure.
okay. I'll go first word, community. It's a big one for me. Second word, support.
Okay. Yeah.
And third word, experience, discovery, even.
Discovery.
I feel like it's because it's taken me around the world, and it's taken me to all parts of the country, and it's helped me meet loads of new people. And so I think if I didn't have athletics, I would stay at home and I'd play video games all day, and that would be my life. Work a 9 to 5 and then play till 3 in the morning. But now with athletics, waking up at 9 a.m. to do training and throwing up has meant I can't afford to do that.
Nah, I mean the whole video game thing that is kind of what I do, but we'll gloss over that anyway. But for now, enjoy your free time and yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck with everything.
Cheers.